The guilt that you experience for going through this illness in the first place. A couple of things here. And we help people with guilt. This is one of the first things we help people with in our program, is really dealing with the guilt, because one, guilty for getting sick in the first place. A lot of people beat themselves up for getting ill in the first place and they blame themselves. We need to stop that completely straight away. Because you didn't do it on purpose. You know, it's not like you forced yourself to get sick or you wanted this in the first place. You didn't. This is the last thing you wanted. People who get chronic fatigue syndrome are not lazy people. And that's a common misconception. A lot of people think, oh, it's just lazy people that are tired and depressed. No, it's people who want to do everything. It's people who are type A personalities. It's people who tend to want to get every bit out of themselves in life. And that's the type of people this affects. It doesn't affect lazy people. The guilt also of letting family members and friends down. I think that's a big one. And you're probably nodding your head at home going, yeah, that's me too. And so, you know, one of the things to acknowledge is, you know, this is where we can express boundaries and really kind of build a relationship around open communication and expression. And you'll find that most people would say, don't be silly, like don't feel bad about what you're going through. It's just that we tend to overthink about it when we're going through this. And, you know, there's also that guilt of, you know, not improving fast enough or, you know, spending thousands of dollars on different things and feeling the pressure of it not working and then letting family members down because of that. And that needs to go. That's an unhealthy expectation to place upon yourself that's actually going to get in the way of your recovery. People thinking it's all in your head and that you just need motivation. Kind of touched on this before, but I think this is a big one. You know, it still happens to this day. You know, whenever I go camping or surfing or I'm in a different place and I meet someone new and they say, so what do you do? And I say, well, you know, we run a worldwide online recovery program. We help people with chronic fatigue syndrome. We help them improve their quality of life and health and well-being. We get them back into life. And they say, oh, chronic fatigue syndrome, isn't that just psychological? And it's like, oh, not again. And so there's this lack of information, there's this lack of awareness out there where most people, not most, but some, genuinely just think, oh, chronic fatigue syndrome is just in your head and you just need to be more motivated. Simply not true. If that was the case, you'd be totally fine already, because you're the type of person who usually is motivated, usually is positive. If you could, you'd be doing everything right now. Yeah. So again, that is one of the worst things about chronic fatigue syndrome, is when people say that, not knowing what to do or how to do it in terms of recovery. And this is where, you know, you're trying a million different things, you're overwhelming yourself all the time, you're, you know, listening to so many people's different advices, and you're just feeling overwhelmed with what to do. And sometimes trying too hard is actually getting in the way of you improving. And that's sometimes what we work with our clients, is actually subtracting. Stop trying everything, stop trying so hard, and actually let's get back to the basics and do what's going to work and move you forward. So I think that's one of the hard things too, is like kind of searching for answers and trying to find that quick fix to get better, and trying to find that person or that savior or that magical pill that's going to be the answer. And unfortunately, it's not. It never is. It's the work that you do with yourself and the support around you that's going to help you the most. And so I want to share with you here, you can read them there. If you want, take a screenshot. They are the 7 worst things about chronic fatigue syndrome. And what I want you to do is share with me below what's the one that stands out for you, what's the one that stands out for you. Now, please keep it clean. This channel is a positive, proactive channel. This is not to rant or to negatively vent about what you're going through. It's a place to feel supported, understood, and totally got. You know, we get you. We know what you're going through, and it's not easy. And so sometimes it's important to share this with the spotlight on it. And so these are the things that you can share with your family and friends. Feel free to share the video to them to help. And what I want to say and leave you with, to finish with, is that recovery is possible, improvement of your life and quality of life is possible. And so whilst all these things are really hard, and yes, all of this really is hard, what we find is when we stop focusing on all the things that suck, but actually start to focus on what we need and build from there, amazing things can happen. And it might not be overnight, but it can be over time. And we see it week in, week out inside our program with our members, always sharing their wins about, they feel stronger, their pain's gone down, their energy levels are going up, their strength and stamina is getting better, going from not being able to leave the house to then walking every single day and feeling a lot better for it, going to events, starting a family, starting work again, playing sport again, better mental clarity. And what we find is when we help people focus on their health, their symptoms start to decrease over time. But if we focus on their symptoms and try and manage everything, well, we're not really progressing. We're just kind of like sugarcoating the actual problem. And so one of the biggest things that I want to leave you with is you need to focus on a foundation level of your overall health and well-being and start to improve from there. And what I want to do is actually leave you with a free training. It's one of my most popular ones. And one of the things that I find most people struggle with chronic fatigue syndrome is the ups and downs, the pushing and the crashing. And so I'll leave a link below for the baseline training, and this will help you figure out where you're at and where you can start to build from right now, rather than constantly waiting to feel good, then you push yourself, then you crash. You need a baseline to establish a foundation which you can build from. And over time, you'll build on step by step and start to make progress. And that's what we help our clients with. So I'll leave that description below. Just click on it. We'll send you a few emails to remind you to watch it. And we'll also send some other helpful resources to you, which will help you with your recovery. So I hope that helps. Leave a comment below if you resonate and relate to this. Again, this wasn't a pity party video, but more of an awareness video on what's it actually bloody like to go through chronic fatigue syndrome, because it is fucking hard. It's exhausting, it's excruciating, and it's painful, and it's really isolating and lonely. And so, one of the things is we need to reverse that and do the opposite of those to start to support ourselves to move forwards in the direction that we want. So I hope this video helps. I hope it hits home, and we'll speak to you soon. Check out all the other videos on the channel. There's literally hundreds of them, and I'm sure you'll find a helpful one in there for you. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.